Hello everyone, welcome in or welcome back to Rainforest Oracle. It's so awesome to have you here. A big thank you to those who are supporting the channel with subscribes, comments, and likes, as well as those booking private readings, sending in donations, and purchasing my Oracle decks. Your support is greatly appreciated. If we haven't met yet, hello, my name is Amanda, and this is a general pick-a-card reading for the collective. And today's reading, it is Ask a Question to Receive Advice, and it is also a mini Monday reading. So there are more piles to choose from here, but each pile will be 5 to 10 minutes in length. I've also hidden the secret messages behind the stones today, so it will be a surprise until you jump into your reading. And since these readings are general, it may not resonate fully or at all with everyone, so please take whatever resonates today and leave the rest for someone else. And these readings are also timeless, so whenever you come across it, there will be something here to help empower you and align you to your highest good. Private readings are available, however, they are limited each month. The link to find all of that information is in the description box below. So before choosing your pile, consider your question, and I will go ahead and introduce you to the stones. For pile 1, we have Opalite. For pile 2, we have Rose Quartz. For pile 3, we have Red Selenite. For pile 4, we have Chrysocolla. And for pile 5, we have Clear Quartz. So when you feel ready, use your intuition to choose the pile that is calling to you the most, then head down into the description box below to find the timestamp for your reading, and we will see you over there. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the Opalite stone with the gratitude card. Now, gratitude or giving thanks or appreciation might be something you're trying to do more of, or it may help in your current situation here, or with your question that you might have. You might have questions about maybe how to show gratitude. I don't know. Let's get into your tarot. It simply might just be a nice card that you like and you chose. So we'll pull 3 cards to start, and then we'll get into your reading here. 2 more cards, Spirit, sorry, for pile number 1, please. What do they need to hear about their question? Okay, so we have, bottom of the deck, we have the 4 of Cups. And then for your main reading, we have the World in reverse, the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, and the Knight of Cups. So my initial feeling is that you've experienced some disappointment. Something didn't work out in the way that you thought. And you're moving through these feelings of apathy, like maybe a bit of hopelessness, maybe a bit of regret, some sadness maybe. And there's a sense of you having to move on without wanting to, because you feel like you really wanted something here. And that could be why the gratitude card was prominent for you, is that in these moments where we are looking at what we didn't get, how can we offer gratitude for what we do have and the possibilities for what we can attain in the future? So we have the World card in reverse, the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, which speaks to blockages and also speaks to endings and beginnings. So I think your guidance is that there's something new that is ready to be birthed, and it's about you planting the right seeds. And it won't come to pass until such time that you've cleared the air and you've cleared yourself of this disappointment, and you move from a place of gratitude, of passion, and love. And there could be also some resistance to change as well. So that could be something interesting to look at as well. If you're feeling a resistance to moving beyond before you feel you're ready, moving to the next thing before you're ready, maybe even doing that thing that you're passionate about, taking, say, a side business and turning it into a full-time, there might be some resistance there. Even though you have passion to do so, you might have the resistance to, what if I succeed? So you almost put up blockages to moving through this change, rather, and being open to this new opportunity. And I feel this is an opportunity to possibly build something of significance here in your life in the physical world. It could be a business, it could be finances, but there is some blockage. Could be due to fear, could be due to some other circumstance. It could be due to this disappointment you might find yourself in, the sadness that you might be swimming around in at this time. And so how can you find ease through that process? How can you move through the emotions of that? So let's get 2 more cards, and then we will end the reading. 2 more cards, please, Spirit. Do share a little more information, guidance, and answers for pile number 1 based on their question. Thank you. Guidance for pile 1 based on their question. 1 more, please. Strongest energy. Strongest. Okay. So we have the Page of Pentacles and the 10 of Wands in reverse. Both of them are in reverse. So this tells me that you're stuck. We can't stay. We have to process and move through this energy of disappointment, of sadness, because it will almost never live up to our expectation. And it kind of reaches a bit of a peak. So if we do not find a way to move on, and the pages are all about new beginnings, but moving on with experience, with lessons under our belt. And so we're not brand new to something. We are experienced and kind of stepping into a discomfort zone that will allow us to grow to our fullest potential, grow beyond our expectations. So again, we've got the stuck energy because once we get into the court cards, the pentacles are very slow moving, methodical energy. They are very rooted in what's happening in their environment. They're very logical. They're planners, they're strategizers. But when they are in the reverse, it's almost like, because when they're upright, they're so slow. When they're reversed, they are completely almost stuck or stalled or stopped. So because the world is in reverse as well, stuck or a resistance to moving on to the next chapter, there is opportunity that lies. And the thing about this opportunity, there might be fear that you might make a mistake, that you might not do the right things, or put your energy or effort or time or money towards the right things. The labyrinth here, it tells you that there are no dead ends. It's not a maze. A labyrinth it might twist and turn, but there's no dead ends. So no matter how many choices you make along that path, you're going to be learning and eventually get to your goal. It's just going to be a bit of a journey, and that's simply all it is. So the 10 of Wands is about releasing things that no longer serve you so you can move on to the next chapter. Again, we have a 10, which is an ending, but also a beginning as well. And we can't move on to that new beginning until we've dropped what's weighing us down or holding us back. Because what's ahead is going to require all of our energy, all of our passion, and to have us be willing to move into the future with purpose and ambition. But in order to do that, we have to do a little self-discovery. We have to do some releasing. We have to go with the flow of things and not resist any changes ahead. So pile 1, I hope this helped you in some way. You are welcome to comment below to let me know, or like this video to say thank you. With gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading. Hello, pile 2. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the flow card, and to me is all about going with the flow and taking everything in, observing, connecting to the things that fill your cup up and make you feel joyful. Taking moments for yourself as well. And whatever flow might be for you, insert your own interpretation here. So with your question in mind, and maybe you read it aloud, I am going to pull some cards now for answers to that question, in hopes that you can receive some guidance moving forward. Spirit, could we get 3 cards to start for pile 2, please? Thank you, thank you. Regarding their question, can you offer them advice, guidance on their question? That was a pretty strong flipper. We have the Hermit in reverse. Interesting energy there. Usually the Hermit is that moment of introspection, of kind of pulling back and exploring self a little bit, even taking moments out, taking a time out, a time out and taking those quiet moments to just be with yourself. And I get a very similar energy from this. Very hermit mode, very, going inside physically and possibly spiritually. Okay, so that could be an energy that you are embodying. You might be ready to come out of that mode. And this could have been for a significant period of time because it is a major arcana. And the reason why I say you might be coming out of it is because you have the Magician energy here. The Magician is number 1, which is right after the Fool. The Fool has this idea of taking a new adventure. And then the Magician is that moment of creation where you're pulling all of your resources together and putting time, energy, and effort into intentional action to make something grow, to make something manifest. We have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse and the Star in reverse. So it's your wish card. You're working towards a wish. We have another major arcana here. Another significant event or change that you are possibly working towards or moving towards. There may be a lack of faith, a lack of hope, but I think the feeling is that, or the guidance is to consider those things that you want to create first and foremost. What are those kind of focused actions that you can take in order to manifest that, and drop whatever doesn't contribute to that goal, whatever that and that wish? Because I think it is tied to a wish, a dream, some kind of hope that you're kind of hanging on to. And maybe you don't see, it could be a big wish, a big dream, that you might lack faith or confidence that you can achieve it because it is so big. I feel like the guidance here too is to come into an energy of confidence and strength and nurturing. This is about grounding yourself in the reality and understanding that getting to your wish, getting to your dream is only going to take time. Just because it's not here now doesn't mean it never will be here. And so what are those small steps that you can take to nurture that seed? Because I think that's the step that's missing in this equation. You have the drive, you have the idea, you have the manifestation abilities to bring this to life, but you're only at step 1. And this is step 26. Or is it step 6? I can't read Roman numerals. Step 17. So you have a bit of a ways to go. And the Queen of Pentacles is that energy of nurturing. That energy of taking the seed and watering it, giving it light, giving it nutrients, giving it what it needs for its growth, for it to have its best chance at becoming abundant. And that's what the Queen of Pentacles is also about, is abundance. So how can you put your time, energy, effort into that thing with all of your heart and all of your soul in a very strategic way and show up consistently over time to eventually get to this dream? So let's get 2 more cards now. Thank you. 1 more card, please, Spirit, for pile 2. Further guidance and advice regarding their question. And building your confidence. Building your confidence might be the thing that you need to work on. So how can you look to past experiences and look to those failures and successes to really extract that confidence from those situations to know that you can do this? We've got the Ace of Pentacles here, which is that worker bee energy, that ability and that consistency and that commitment to showing up over and over and over again. And that judgment, which is that moment of hearing the call to do something that is aligned with your spirit, aligned with what you want. But it's in the reverse position, so there's a resistance there, because I feel like there's great change that is required in order for you to step to the other side. There's an old skin you have to shed, and there's a second chance. Maybe you've done this before and you've failed, but don't let that dictate your future or the outcome in this particular circumstance, because I feel it is different. You do have the commitment, you do have lessons that you've learned. So it's all about trying again and being open to trying again and doing it enough to where you become a master at it, where you get better and better with each time that you show up to the table and try again and try again. Each round of trying is you succeeding along the way. Every failure is a stepping stone to that success, to that dream. And I feel like that's also part of the nurturing process, is that ability to show up, to be persistent regardless of what's happening, so that you can step through all of the old ways of doing, the old ways of being, and step beyond it and step into something new and far more expansive. Step into your dreams and step into a bigger success than what I feel you've experienced before. But it's all about that first step and every little step along the way. Don't look at this. Have it in mind, but don't look at it as something you have to achieve tomorrow. Give yourself time and space and grace and go with that flow of the process. And I feel like eventually you'll start seeing that payoff and getting closer to that goal. So pile 2, this was your reading. I hope something here resonated with you. You're welcome to comment below and let me know, or like this video to say thanks. With gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading. Hello, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the Create card with red selenite. And I love the Creator card, just because there's so much going on with it. There's so many options. There's so many things, imagination is coming to life. It's manifestation energy. So you could be somebody who is a big dreamer, who has a wild imagination and wants to bring things to life. So I want you to think about your question, just so that the messages that come through are a little more clear for you. You can say it out loud or read it if you have it written down. And we're going to get cards today for you. We're going to get 3 cards. 1 more card, Spirit, for pile 3 regarding their question. please offer advice or guidance for pile 3's question, please. One more card, please, Spirit. Thank you. Bottom of the deck, we have the Hanged Man in reverse. So, if you are creating something or wanting to create something, you may have been experiencing some delays in that process. You may be not seeing the whole picture at this time because of these delays. You might be trying to work towards something and there's blocks everywhere. You keep coming up against blocks. So let's take a look here. You have the Two of Swords, the Sun, and the Nine of Pentacles. So you definitely have an independent spirit here. And there is a sense of you being at a crossroads, not knowing what to do, where to go. You don't have the information you need. You feel to have or make the best decision possible. But I almost get that there's no bad decisions here because of the Sun. I really feel like there is abundance, regardless of which decision you make. I think it's just all about making that decision, and it's making it based on what you feel will be the most joyful for you, the most abundant for you, the one that feels the best. Leaning into that a little more. And that could be the delay, could be this, maybe you've come to a place of indecision, and maybe your heart and your mind are in this battle. So, which one do you choose? I'd like to think that there are no wrong decisions in life, but I think feeling into your decisions is going to be helpful here. And there is also a sense of you stepping into something that you can really build towards and build up on. That could be something that you're trying to do. Maybe this Two of Swords is also a little bit of fear as well. You're not sure if this big scary decision that you want to make is going to bear any fruit. So, interesting. You've got the Sun here, so I do get a sense of confidence. I do get a sense of independence here with the Nine of Pentacles. And somebody who is self-made. So there is a feeling of being self-made here. Again, you could be a creator of some kind or a maker of some kind, and you're looking to break off onto your own thing and do your own thing. But there's a little bit of fear of what's beyond that horizon. And I say that with the bird kind of being on this glacier, looking out towards the horizon. Yes, there are places to land, but what's beyond that? And so I think it's about gathering as much information as you can and leaning into what makes you most joyful. And not necessarily going from this comfortable glacier to way beyond the horizon. It's about what is that next step. And so that could be the delay here, is because you're in this feeling of indecision, of not knowing whether to stay at that corporate job where it's comfortable and comfy and you have benefits, or to branch off and do something that'll make you happier and more joyful and be a little more independent. So let's get a couple of more cards here. Let's get 2 more cards for pile 3, please. Could you offer guidance on their situation? 2 more cards, please, for pile. Thank you. And we will not take those ones. 5 of Swords. 1 more card, please. I feel like this decision is really creating some tension in your life. 5 of Swords and the Emperor in reverse. Wow, it's really interesting that these 2 cards came out together, because the 5 of Swords is a bit of that energy of tension, of fighting and being in this bit of drama with somebody. And the Emperor, when he's in the upright position, it's all about not necessarily control in a bad way, but he's got a hold on his empire and he's building something. He is delegating, he is leading and guiding people to help him build that empire. So there's a sense of structure, there's a sense of stability, there's a sense of control in a good way. But when they're in the reverse position, there's this feeling of overpowering somebody, of not respecting somebody, of treating them poorly, of kind of being a little bit out of control in that sense, where they're maybe micromanaging. Or so this could be an energy that you are up against. And so you may like the job and the people. You may not, maybe there's a boss energy or something, or maybe you're kind of in this conflict with people at work. Whether they are your coworkers or whether they are some kind of boss figure. I get boss figure because it's this Emperor. It's somebody who is an authority figure within the realm that you're in. And so that could be the indecision, is I like the people that I work with overall, I like the job, but I don't like my boss. Or I don't like, maybe you don't like the company as a whole, but you like your position within the company. And so, but I also feel like you have dreams to do something else that might make you happier and more fulfilled. And so I think you have to lean into that question a little more, of if you're coming to ask the question of what decision do I make and how do I make that decision, I think you have to I think you have to remove fear and think about how do you go about creating that sense of joy and fulfillment in your life, that sense of abundance. And it could be with your current situation, but I feel your current situation is surrounded in a bit of drama and tension. So is that healthy for us to stay in that? And is it possible for that to be resolved at some point in time? Or do we have to look beyond the horizons to see what our options are and to start making plans and steps towards that thing that might scare us, but might be a better situation overall for us in the end and help us grow, help us be more joyful, happier? But because this crow is kind of looking into this direction of these cards, I think you know what the decision is. It just might be a tough one to make. So can you make the decision a little bit at a time? Can you set yourself up for success so that if the bottom falls out of this, you have something to back you up? Or is it something where you have to look for a new job and look for something else completely, to the point where you end up quitting this and going to that? So I think making the decision is your guidance here. And how can you lean into the decision that you feel will give you the best chance at success, happiness, and joy? So pile 3, this was your reading. I hope it helped you in some way. You're welcome to comment below to let me know, or like this video to say thank you. With gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading. Hello, pile 4. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the Chrysocolla stone with the Patience card. This also gives me a feeling of flow as well, just because of the water flowing out of the bucket into the pool below. And yeah, so maybe patience is required in your situation. It could be an energy that you are embodying. But while I'm shuffling your cards, I'd like you to consider and think about your question, maybe speak it aloud. And hopefully the answers and guidance will come out a little more clear when you have that question in the forefront of your mind. So we're going to take a look at 3 cards to start, and then we'll get a couple of clarifiers at the end. One more, please. Thank you. And bottom of the deck, we have the 3 of Wands in reverse. So we have the 9 of Wands the 9 of Cups, and the 7 of Swords. So bottom of the deck, we have the 3 of Wands in reverse, which gives me a feeling of you, rather than stepping out into the world to expand on your passions and desires and lead yourself and manifest and attract those things that you want to bring into your life. There's a sense of you going inward and working on that within yourself rather than in the external sense. There's a sense of you exploring internally how you can almost work on the foundations of your thinking, your feeling, past patterns of behavior, and kind of working on a bit of mindset, maybe even questioning or doubting your desires. So then that brings up a feeling of exploration internally. So that when you step out into the world to manifest those things, that you know exactly where you stand and what it is that you want to manifest. So there's a bit of a pulling back feeling that I get from the 3 of Wands when it's in reverse, because instead of expanding our external world, we're kind of holding out and we're kind of working on self first. And it's almost like you're clarifying your intentions first before you put it into action. You're also kind of managing your expectations as well in this energy. So let's take a look at your reading. You've got 2 9s here, which speaks to you coming close to some kind of ending here. The 9 of Wands can speak to that effort that we put into our work, whatever work is. Those things where we feel really determined and ambitious to achieve something. It could be you working towards a career path or a business, but there's a lot of effort that goes into this. This is persistence and resilience and kind of putting in the time and the effort to getting to that end goal. And the 9 of Cups is this feeling of satisfaction, of finding or discovering your oasis in the desert. And really coming to this moment of fulfillment and satisfaction. So I really do feel like you're close to, or you've reached some kind of, not necessarily endpoint, but there's a sense of you really, I think you've achieved something, but you want a little more. And so I think your advice is to really ask yourself the effort that you're willing to put in to push ahead. Do you have that energy? Do you have that effort? Do you have that desire to keep going? And then looking at your fulfillment, are you satisfied with where you are? And are you fulfilled with possibly that next step? Would that offer you that ultimate fulfillment? And then with the 7 of Swords, it's this moment of strategizing, how to go about getting to that next level, getting to that next step. So you might have to step it back a couple to be able to start thinking about that. And instead of moving with that determination, which you will need, but instead of taking action to it, towards it, and moving through those emotions and getting excited about it, I think we have to pause and strategize and look at the truth of the situation that you are in. Because we can follow a path and we can get excited about achievement, but it's not actually in the direction that we truly want to be going in. We're not building the thing that we actually want to build when it comes to our values, when it comes to the things that fill us up. So we kind of forget that we're not just achieving for the sake of achieving. We should be achieving something that is going to bring us ultimate satisfaction, fulfillment, wealth in whatever format you want that to be, whether that is financial, emotional, mental, physical. But it comes back to that planning and strategy and taking a step back to assess that. And I think that's what the Three of Wands energy is all about. It's looking at our intentions and looking at where we're going and managing our expectations along the way. Do we have this in us? Is this going to be fulfilling for us? Is this in the direction that we want to go? And do we have a plan and a strategy to get there? So let's get a couple of cards, a couple final cards for you. Guidance, advice for pile 4, please. Thank you. Oh, so we've got 2 that came out right away. So we've got 10 of Swords, which is a pretty dark card, and we've got the Page of Swords. So what's interesting is that it's almost like, if you put these two side by side, it's like the bird, well, maybe not flew the coop, but I feel like when the 10 of Swords is in reverse, there's a painful ending that has happened, and you're kind of dealing with the fallout of that. But we've got our 10 here, which is the end of something, and but it's an abandoned building. There's nothing left for us here. So there's a sense of us having to let go of it, walk away from it. And then the Page of Swords is this energy of starting something new, of moving through maybe tumultuous energy that might come from this ending and deciding, hey, maybe this isn't the right direction. Maybe this isn't where we want to go. Maybe this isn't what we want to build. And you come to this reality, this truth of, holy cow, now what? And it's kind of letting it go. Letting go of the expectation and the outcome that we may have set for ourselves in step 1. And being open to exploring new things. Now we have that experience. Now we can take this into a new opportunity that might be better for us. That might open us to new experiences, new ways of thinking, new ways of doing. And with the albatross, they can lock their wings, essentially, and glide through the storm and glide over oceans without expending any energy. I've read that they can actually sleep while they are coasting, which is wild. So it's kind of that energy of perseverance. And also in storms, the albatross, if they kind of get caught in one, they find land to kind of, take it easy for a minute while the storm passes. So sailors used to look to the albatross to kind of predict what the weather was going to be like out at sea. And so I wonder if there's any kind of indications like that might predict the outcome or what to expect in this current situation and possibly where you might be going. Is there information? Is there a new skill that you can learn that might allow you to better your chances? Because again, if you happen to go on a new journey and decide that this isn't actually what I want, whatever this is, so I'm saying goodbye to it, I'm letting it go and moving on. I don't think you'll stay in that energy for very long if that's what you decide to do. But don't forget that you've learned a lot of things and there's a lot of experience you've gained. So you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. So to be open to the lessons, to be open to the mistakes, to be open-minded about anything new that you kind of take on and move towards. So pile 4, this is what I have for you. I hope it helped in some way. You're welcome to comment below or let me know if this helped at all. Like this video to say thank you, and with gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading. Hello, pile 5. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the crystal quartz, or clear quartz, pardon me. Clear quartz crystal with the heal card. So there might be something here that you're working through. Maybe you're healing from. You might be needing to tap into a little bit more of your emotional body at this time. So let's get 2 more cards from Spirit for your reading today. Bottom of the deck, we have the 2 of Swords in reverse, which is a card of decision and not knowing which decision to make. So you're actually stuck in a state of indecision. Possibly that is the energy that you are embodying at this time. And it could have some link to your healing. Not really sure. Let's take a look at your reading. So we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Hierophant. And we have the Hermit. Very interesting energies. I feel like you're really leaning into some kind of spiritual practice, some kind of tradition. Maybe you are learning something new at this time. Maybe there's a feeling of boredom or apathy, routine. There's a sense of routine here. And again, that ties in with that tradition. And I get schooling, so teacher-student type dynamic where, you know, you go to school every day or you go to school every Saturday or whatever if you're doing continuing education. So there's this feeling of doing the same thing over and over again. And you're learning something and it's maybe not exciting. And there's this feeling of you maybe pulling away or possibly doing some introspection in regards to that. Maybe some introspection is required and you might need to come into some kind of understanding about something. The Two of Swords can speak to being at a crossroads and not having the information that you need to make a clear decision. So you can stay in this mode of indecision for a time. However, there will be a point at which you do have to make that decision. So introspection and maybe continuing the path of learning, of gaining some kind of skill or information so that that decision eventually becomes a little more clear. And it might clear up this sense of boredom or doing the same thing over and over again and not getting anywhere. This could speak to career frustrations as well. And also giving up too soon. So this kind of harkens back to my own university experience where I wanted to quit a year before I graduated and got my diploma. And so there was this feeling of, do I, don't I don't know, you know, I don't want to stay, but I don't want to go. So that's almost the feeling that I get here. And because we have the Hierophant, there is this sense of teaching learning going on. But I feel like you want to make things easier. You might want to quit before you're finished. I think you have to do some introspection, some reflection on why. And if that's really going to benefit you in the future. You know, if in terms of my experience, my art teacher from high school reminded me of how much work I've put in up to this point to get to this point in my life. And to quit right before I finish would be a disservice to me. And it was true, because I ended up finishing the course a little bit reluctantly, getting the diploma, but I ended up using that in my line of work, in my graphic design career. So had I not gained that diploma, I may not have had a 20-year graphic design career. Because in the end, it turned out that I actually did want to do that. I just had to take a little bit of a detour to explore other things. And maybe that's all you need as well. But maybe the other option here is to lean into self-development, look at spiritual practices, find moments of quietude, solitude, taking a time out, removing yourself from distractions that may help lead you to answers and a little more understanding, maybe aligning to your highest truth. And maybe, I don't know if the healing has anything to do with this, but I will leave that to you for your interpretation, because currently I don't see a connection. But you never know. Maybe some healing needs to be done in order for you to get into a more clear headspace. I don't know. Let's do one more card, Spirit, for pile 5. And what's interesting is you chose the clear quartz. And to me, that's just the clearest stone that you can get. So it's almost like you are looking for clarity. And it might have something to do with your healing. It might have something to do with your introspection, with those moments of quiet and being with yourself. So we have the Four of Wands and the Knight of Swords. So it's about having a foundation, building a foundation for yourself. And what I get from this is building a foundation for yourself so that you can take swift action to go after the things you want. What is that foundation? And if you are in a bit of an indecision mode, again, coming back to that hermit energy, where we are being still, that we're not taking any action. And yeah, we're kind of on autopilot doing our day-to-day thing and whatever, but having those moments of taking a time out and kind of giving ourselves a moment to look around. How do we feel? What is it we truly desire? What kind of foundations do we want to build for ourselves? And what does that look like for us? And to not move too quickly. When you have those answers, yes, you can move quickly, but just be aware of the consequences of doing so, because there may be consequences. With the Knight of Swords, they are very fast, to the point where they'll deal with the consequences later, and they miss a whole bunch of things. Maybe they make some mistakes. So just be aware of that. It's almost like you go from kind of just going with the flow and this kind of slower energy to knowing what you want and moving quickly. And that's okay. You just have to be focused, and you just have to be super clear, I feel is the message here. It's to find clarity in stillness, to reflect on your foundations and what you've learned about your past, kind of the rules that you're following and the things that you're learning, and if those feel good to you or not. And to not react from this place of wanting to quit too soon, and I'm not saying don't, because that will be up to you, but there's a sense of you having a little bit of patience with the process is kind of where I'm going with that. And to not be too hasty. But also, once you get clarity, that you can then move forward with confidence and move forward as fast or as slow as you'd like. But there's a focus and there's a clarity here. There's an understanding, there's knowledge behind that. So just make sure that whatever actions you do take are done with a clear mind and not in reaction to something. So pile 5, that is what I have for you. I hope something here resonated. You're welcome to comment below to let me know, or like this video to say thank you. With gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading.